I just did the unthinkable. I quit my job as a firefighter paramedic, sold everything I own, and bought a house on wheels. Join me as we travel the world on Adventures with Annie into the unknown. What's up, Road Warriors? I'm Annie, and welcome back to Adventures with Annie into the unknown. We have a lot to catch up on, so let's not waste any time. If you did not watch episode 4, please go watch it here. And now that you're all caught up, here is the pivotal moment where we left off. Are you freaking kidding me? Oh my god. First of all, I think I was just seething with anger, that I was just eerily calm. Like, I could not speak. I was just like, okay. Alright, universe. You just keep throwing them. You just keep throwing them. I'll keep jumping through them. A lot of woosahs, a lot of breathing. Oh, man. So, what happened was, July 31st, jacks are up, everything's loaded, we are literally just cruising across the campground, gonna drop off the trash in the dumpsters on the way out of the campground, and we've got our house in tow. And I put it in the dumpster, get back in the truck, and Wendy's like, hey, hate to tell you this, but our friend's back. The first order of business is to get a read on what the code is. We have to know what is the code that it's throwing. So we need a code scanner, but we don't have one. So Wendy sees like a group of guys standing, they're like 100 feet away from us. And she goes over to them and asks them if any of them have a code scanner. Turns out one of the 3 gentlemen did have one, but he said that it was at his house. He said, it's in my truck and I drove my motorcycle here, but I just live right up the road. Of course, in small town fashion, just right up yonder. So he's like, I'll go get mine, I'll be right back. And we're like, no, you don't have to do that. And he's like, no, seriously, no problem, I'll go get it. First impressions are, wow, I mean, what a nice guy, right? And this turned out to be the first of many generous gestures that this guy did for us. I mean, he was a true angel and such a blessing for us, I swear. We'll stick with first name basis. We're gonna call him Bruce. So thank you, Bruce, for everything. Like, you went above and beyond in so many different ways, and we are very appreciative, so thank you. So he comes back and we run the code. Turns out it's P0335, which is the crankshaft position sensor. We asked them, do you know of any good mechanic? And of course they said, yeah, you gotta go see Pete. We're like, huh? Pete? Who's Pete? And like, Pete's the mechanic. You gotta go up the street. It was like total small town culture. Oh, you just go past the second stop sign and turn right at the next sign and past the big yellow house. That's what we were dealing with. And it literally was probably 2 miles up the road, if that. And so Bruce, being the generous guy that he is, nice guy, didn't want us to get stranded on the side of the road, said that he would follow behind in his motorcycle. Pete gave it a look. He said that it definitely is the crankshaft position sensor. However, he said that sometimes it's actually the camshaft that is the problem, but it's causing the crankshaft position sensor to go off. So he's like, why don't you consult with your mechanic back home and then decide what you want to do. And so we did, and we were told that we should just, if it's not reading camshaft, only do crankshaft. So we replaced the crankshaft position sensor, and same code. It didn't work. We bring it back the next day because it's throwing the same code. It went away initially and then it came back. We said this is like really shaky. It's not running right, and it seems like it's like lurching forward. This weird sensation, and so we took it for a spin and ran the codes, and he said it seems like the tires are really out of balance. And so he checked it out and put it on the machine, and sure as shit, he's like, these are way out of balance. So we're like, balance the fucking tires. Balances the tires. Of course, that's not gonna fix our crankshaft, but it did ride a lot better than it was. He said, look, man, I don't feel comfortable taking any more of your money. What? Who says that? Well, apparently small town America, that's who. He says, look, I don't know enough about this. I think you need to talk to somebody that works more on Toyotas. A lot of people don't have Toyotas around here. So, I mean, this is territory where they make fun of you for having a Toyota. Like, it's all Ford and Dodge, and you know, that's what you get for having a foreign car, and like people are just ripping us a new one. It's like, he recommends a guy named Will in the next town over. So the next day, Wendy braves the road, takes the car to the next town over to visit Will. And Will takes a look at it, takes it out for a spin, hooks it up to the thing. He did something differently where he hooked it up to his code scanner while driving it. It was throwing a code of misfire on cylinder 4. I'm like, Wendy texts me this and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Didn't we like just replace this? And she's like, yeah. And the spark plug was dead on that one. So we replaced the engine coil on cylinder 4 and the spark plug. Again. Cue the $. Of course. Same code. So, this guy says, look, you guys need a actual Toyota specialist to look at your rig. And he's like, there's one, but he's a ways out and a couple of towns over. But this is who you need to go see. It's TLC Automotive in Columbia, Tennessee. We decide that we're gonna have to brave the road, or we don't have to, but we're choosing to brave the road to get over to a campground there because we can stay there for free. We can park our rig there for free because it's part of one of our networks. And it is like right there in the same town as this guy. So that's what we prepare for. But meanwhile, this whole previous week before that, even though it was hell in working out the card issues and all that drama and the stress and trying to figure out logistics and finances, and you know, it's very stressful. We did have a great time while we were there, and we enjoyed the campground and all the simple pleasures that that part of Tennessee offered us. our campground was super cute and super quaint, and it has this porch swing out on the main office that has a house attached to it, and I love porch swings, and so we really got our use out of that porch swing. Jake enjoyed the sunshine and the deck, just all sprawled out, and we went wildflower hunting and picked and made some beautiful bouquets. And our campground had a creek in it, and we went creek walking, and Wendy and the kids took a lot of the clay that was in the creek and dug it up and brought it up to our campsite and made some awesome, beautiful sculptures with it. And we gifted some people some of those sculptures. And we found more fireflies.
You got it?
We had a lot of good time and family time, and we even braved the road even more with Black Beauty, and was able to cross off one more item off our bucket list, which was Nashville, Tennessee. So we went out on the town, out to Nashville one night, and we went out to dinner, and we checked out Hattie B's chicken. And let me tell you what, when in Tennessee they say hot, they mean hot. Oh man, I was like sweating from the inside in ways I didn't know was possible eating some of this chicken. But it was so good, so delicious. And then we went downtown to the main strip and went to some of the gift shops and looked, people watched and just got to experience the lights and the sounds and the music. You could hear people performing. There were people performing at like every bar, and there's like not only a bar in every corner, but a bar in between the shops. I mean, it's packed. So it was a really cool atmosphere. I'm glad I got to see it. So yeah, that was awesome. We also went and checked out the local diner that everyone's like, you have to check it out on your way out of town. It's called Soda Pop Junction. And we were like, okay, that sounds cool. And it's really cool. It's like this 1950s style diner. Super cute decor, bright, colorful. There's a train stop there. It's small, like super small town. It was fun. And while we were there, Sid read a sign for the first time, which was pretty cool. So we tried to capture it on film, but he got a little camera shy. But here's a little peek at that. Yeah. It's time for...
But you can buy coffee.
Wait, what did that sign say? I want to get it. You're reading a sign for the first time.
No.
What'd you read? You can't buy...
No.
Sid is getting into reading now, and he saw this sign. So he's like reading everything, and I'm like, don't you dare read, don't you dare read. That's kind of our thing. And it, of course, provokes him to read more. And so he's reading all the signs he sees in the park, and we're passing this one sign, and there was one, it's Texas decor, like the state of Texas, Texas style, and the stars and the red, white, and blue, and there's this sign, and we have this game going on in Florida because it's like Trump Nation down there. But so we just count how many Trump signs we can see, and it's just something for the kids to do when we're driving. And because if we're counting rainbow flags or something, like one every so many hundreds of miles. He thinks it's a Trump sign. well, I'll just let you see for yourself.
Combined with
That sign.
Leonel Melman. What sign? Where?
It says dump station.
I guess.
But Trump signs do have stars.
Same thing. So our time sadly came to an end where we had to say goodbye to our dear friends Bob, Pete, and Bruce at Texas Tea Campground. We kind of got a little comfortable when we were like staying put and not moving, just trying to enjoy this mobile lifestyle, the whole reason why we embarked on this journey. So it was hard to say goodbye to that, you know, at first, but we were braving the roads and we were gonna head for Natchez Trace Campground in Hohenwald, Tennessee. There we stop at an auto parts store and we purchase the best thing ever, our very own code scanner. We have been wanting one of these for the whole freaking trip, and it gives you a peace of mind if you ever run into the unfortunate event of a check engine light. I'm not gonna say too much about Natchez Trace Campground. I don't want to badmouth anything, so this would be where I would insert my negative review of Natchez Trace here. Anyway, we did get to enjoy family night where they have snow cones. We got some swimming in, which was super fun and refreshing, which we hadn't been in a pool in a while. So that felt good because we hadn't had that since we left Florida. We even had a family craft night. Check that out. Pirates! Why are your lips blue? Cause what?
Because I had a blue raspberry cell phone.
Of course, we arrived there on a Friday and we have to wait till Monday till the mechanic opens up, because of course this stuff happens on a Friday. So that was another good reason why we got to enjoy the campground. We got some of the best stargazing that we've had on our trip yet there. So I will say that that is a great place to watch it. We watched shooting stars. We saw hundreds of shooting stars and had a lot of campfires and barbecued and swam. All right, and Monday comes. Today's the big day. We gotta find out what the heck is going on with Black Beauty. We head over to the TLC, which is the Toyota specialist, and have him run the codes on his machine, which his machine was actually formulated for Toyota and Toyota only. So we were able to get very detailed, precise diagnosis of what was going on, because nobody really knows. All right, we go, we get our diagnosis. And what is going on with Black Beauty, you ask? Drum roll, please. Turns out it is the main wiring harness. Here's a little snippet of me at Natchez Trace, chilling out in the sun with tons of flies, and talking about Black Beauty and the diagnosis and the intel that we got at the specialist. Take a look. Hello, time for a check-in. I always look at myself rather than the lens of the camera. So the bad news is that it's the wiring harness, the main wiring harness to the engine that's bad. Most likely when they rebuilt the engine, they pulled on those cables too hard and it fucking busted them. So it's throwing an electrical issue. It would cost about $2,000 to repair. No, thank you. And also the buzzing sound that I've heard it since the day I bought it, is the brake accumulator. And he said that was going bad. And I said, well, it's been doing that since I bought it. And he's like, yes, but now it's doing it more frequent, like every 30 seconds. So that means it's about to go. But the good news is, he said, I recommend not fixing it. Just keep going, drive all the way out to Oregon and trade it in when you get there as is, with check engine light and all, to a shop and get something better. August 11th. We are now following orders from the TLC Automotive Mechanic telling us to just keep going. Our next anticipated and planned destination was Missouri to visit some friends. Totally pumped, ready to go, ready to finally hit the road into the unknown. Here we go. 20 miles down the road. Oh.
What in the world happens next? What more could possibly go wrong for these guys? Do they make it to Missouri, or are they stranded again due to car trouble? Find out on the next episode of Into the Unknown.